All right, well, welcome back. Tech Hub Live 2025 and Fireside Chats on a cold and chilly day. I mean, kind of. It's what, 80? My guest is Tami Craig Schilling, Vice President of Agronomic Digital Innovation Lead at Bayer. Tami, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yesterday, we had our Women in Ag Tech program, and Tami was on that program, and we talked a little bit about E.L.Y. Is it okay if I call it E.L.Y?
It is.
Do you prefer? Okay. So super excited to have her here this afternoon. She's going to tell us a little bit about E.L.Y, and then we have some questions and kind of go from there. So give us a little overview, and then we'll dig into some details about it.
Sure, Lara. So I'm going to move that down just a little bit. I'm known to be pretty loud. All those 4-H and FFA speeches back in the day in farmer meetings, I've got a pretty booming voice. The rest of my story, and really where the beginning of our generative AI product at Bayer named E.L.Y, E.L.Y, came from, is I'm a farmer's wife. And I've spent 35 years of my career calling on ag retailers, working with seed dealers, and calling on farmers to try to provide the best products available and help them through their production challenges, which I will never know even a small amount as much as my dealers know, dealer salesmen knew, or farmers know and have to deal with in a year. And I get to see that firsthand because I'm not only the wife of a farmer, I'm the mom of a farmer. Our 25-year-old son is now at home on the farm full time. And so seeing two worlds of working in a corporation at a high level and being on a farm every night, you begin to see some trends. And so when you look at the market research data and it comes back that product and agronomy information is still a pain point. And I don't think it's the volume. I think it's figuring out what you need for your area when you need it. Because a farmer's going to make hundreds of decisions in a year. A retailer's trying to manage, fertility, seed, application timing, chemistry, all kinds of things. And so the reason E.L.Y started was we were trying to build some systems that would be a way for a farmer. So the rest of my story is my husband, we also have a small cattle herd, about 20 head of cows. And at night, I will catch him with the iPad in bed above his head, checking the cows during calving. Well, once the iPad is there, he then can't sleep at 3 o'clock because he's worried about late planting because we couldn't get in this spring. And I've watched this for years and years. And one of the things that he says to me is, I can't call my crop specialist. But I want to find out something about this issue or this problem. And so we had been building a part of a team I'm on. Ryan Gilbert is one of my teammates that's been part of this for quite a long time, was an agronomist, former ag teacher. And we had about 10 or 12 of us that were every day trying to build some new systems. And we were trying to build them in-house. And the problem is that's really, really hard. I'm not a big fan of the complete in-house builds because once the people that built it moved to different jobs, then who's going to take care of it? And who's going to know what the little bugs were and how the fixes were made? Well, we'd gotten money in 21, 22, 23, and the way that usually works in a corporation is you get all your money in 21, half your money in 22, and none of your money in 23. And that's about how it looked like it was going to go. And we said, well, we don't want to pour a bunch of money into something that we can't sustain or really turn something into farmers. And the fall of 22, ChatGPT came out. And we said, what if instead of us building our own system to navigate and take this data of hybrid information and a farmer's location and weather patterns and chemistry application data and where a product is labeled, not labeled, what weeds does it control, what insects, fungicides, instead of doing it ourselves, what if we tried a project using a generative AI tool on the side? At the time, Microsoft, we were working with them on the Azure platform, which I got to tell you, I had known nothing about IT practically other than how to get my tools to work. So when I say these things like Azure platform, I don't have a clue what that means. All I know is having that enabled us for Microsoft to come to the table and E.Y, who was doing integration, and they were an integrator. Don't really know what that integrator thing means. All I know is at Microsoft, so let's bring E.Y along. And we pooled our money together. and for a 90-day POC. And the idea was, can we make a better tool than ChatGPT out of the box for product and agronomy information for sales reps, retail and dealers, and farmers? And so in 90 days, like I said, we were scrambling to get things put in there. And the data that we put in actually was not private data. It was all stuff that we already had on the web or you could access like anywhere. I mean, it wasn't any high-tech, special, behind-the-scenes private data. And that was a surprise, too, to us, that a lot of the stuff that we already had, if we could just triangulate and layer it on top of each other, it could be pretty powerful. So it wasn't perfect when we first did it, but we proved we could be 40% better than ChatGPT out of the box in 90 days. And we're like, okay, we're on to something. So by then, the funding, this was fall of 23, and we started to get some real momentum. And we had been working with a bunch of our agronomists to test the questions because they need to be right. And these things don't come out of the box. Even when you build on top of something and you make it better, you still have to test it. So Ryan was a huge part of launching it to our 120 agronomists. And some of them said, this might take my job. And we're like, well, we think you offer more value than that. And we think farmers and retailers like a human connection. But we do think this could augment your job. And actually, so then we eventually launched it to about 800 sales reps, had about 500 users, probably about 500 active users on the system. I don't know, Ryan, we probably have about 20,000 questions that our people have asked. We found that there's an art to asking those questions called prompts. And, so what we do is, what we really have done is try to make it easier for our people to use it and ask questions and make it accurate. Accuracy is a really, really big deal. It will not be perfect. Humans are not perfect. And so our expectation of perfection isn't quite there. Right now, it's an internal-only tool. And so if you do work with a chem or seed rep from Bayer, or an agronomist, ask them about it. They can show it to you. It's on the phone and on the web. The phone version has been a huge hit. We started to see a great increase of use there. And hopefully we will eventually be able to release it to retail and to farmers at some point.
Okay. Is it correct to refer to it as a small language model? Is it a small language model?
It really is more of a small language model. Okay. Yeah, it's not a large language model. It's not a ChatGPT, a Grok, a Llama, it's not one of those. And that was never our intention. We really just built on other things. And the neat part is you can build on Azure today, but if you see that one of the other large language models is better, let's say Grok starts to answer ag questions better, then we can pivot to use Grok. And the other thing is, the content that we put in it ourselves doesn't go into the atmosphere. So today, if you have a ChatGPT on your phone, and if you don't have it, I would encourage you to use it because I'm amazed just the things that it helps me do in my normal life and in my work life. But when you put that content in one of these normal Gen AI tools, that goes in and it stays in. So don't put private data, don't put your phone number, don't put your credit card numbers, don't put your social security, and don't put anything you don't want people to know. But if you build it on a platform and it's secure, which we did with Microsoft, but you can do it with you can do it with Amazon, AWS, you can do it with lots of people. Then your stuff stays your stuff. And so I guess those were some of the things that we learned.
It's important, yeah. I guess with the few seconds we have remaining for folks to find out more about E.L.Y, where do we go?
So if you want to learn about the concept, because again, we're internal only, and we want to go external really, really bad, but sometimes you have to walk before you run.
Yeah.
And so what I would encourage you to do, if you don't have a contact within the company at the field level that would actually have the tool, you can Google E.L.Y Bayer, and you can read about it. It's one of those things, you look at a point in your life. I mean, I started out as a sales rep. I never knew that I would be building IT tools as a non-ITer. But we have won some really prestigious awards with the concept because it's really done well. It's just the partnership and the ability to do it has worked really well. And so We just won a big global award for, I can't remember what. But anyway, we did, and it was super exciting. But there are lots of articles that have been written. Microsoft, actually, this is the crazy thing. Microsoft has a really nice ag division, and they featured the tool at their Ignite, their big annual meeting. Just like Apple has an annual meeting, Microsoft has an annual meeting, and they featured ours as the ag sector project. And again, we're kind of here, we're a bunch of farm kids like going, whoa, this is like super cool, because these IT people think we know things. And I guess that would be my final message is, in truth, we do. If you have an ag background, farming, retail, doesn't matter. You know, even if you've just grown up in that environment, your domain knowledge matters. And it matters a lot, because understanding the intricacies of rural agriculture, no matter whether you're here in Europe, South America, it really matters.
That's awesome. Good final words to end on. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tami, so much for your time.
Thank you, Lara.